Over 30 years in pickleball, competing and teaching the great game. His pickle journey has taken him to sunny Florida, starting a new chapter, including a pickle facility sure to be a smash for everyone who visits. He's Mark Milner. I'm Mickle Moore. This is the Pickle with Mickle interview series 0, start. All right, here we are, Pickle with Mickle interview series, smashing it on the court with Mark Milner. Mark, I'm super excited to have you join me. How are you doing today?
I am fantastic. Another unbelievable, beautiful day in South Florida. Everything they say about it is true. I mean, this is the season that's why there's the freeways and everything's packed, because it is absolutely gorgeous down here.
People are flocking to Florida. People are still coming out here right now, taking advantage of the great weather we're having before the oven turns on and people flee. We hide inside, look for misters and all that fun stuff. And you know, I'm like I said, super excited that you're here. What a lot of people don't know, and what they'll never know, is the pure gold that was not recorded between you and I just a few weeks ago.
Right.
And you know,
but we know.
We do know. And, you know, that being said, two pros like us, there's no pressure. You know, the magic will just happen. Yeah. Though, Mark, I thought you were going to come full Brady, at least with the jersey on or something like that.
Yes, I did wear my Smash this time, so.
Love it. Let's talk about the Sasquatch, the SmashSquatch, and how that came about. Tell me about that.
Yes. Well, my business partners, Tim and Kristen Miller, they live in Jupiter. Actually, Tim and I and Kristen all go back to Washington State University days, way back in the early days. Go Cougs. And Tim, he had a lake house on Lake Chelan in Manson, and he loves Sasquatch. He absolutely loves Sasquatch. And the same design of Sasquatch that he got a tree out of Oregon, had a logging company take it and ship it, put it on a barge in Lake Chelan and up lake, and got it onto Lake Chelan in a sculpture. One of these ice sculptors, who was also very talented with the chainsaw, made SplashSquatch in Lake Chelan.
That's awesome.
But he just sold the place there, and we're sitting around because I stayed before my family moved down here. I lived with the Millers, and God bless them, they put up with me for about 6 weeks. But we were just talking about, it went back and forth from SplashSquatch, and then we were talking about Smash Pickleball, and all of a sudden Kristen, give all the credit to her, she goes, SmashSquatch. And we just stopped in our tracks going, yes, because we had this plain little logo. Well, it was a retro logo, and it looked great. But we had to insert SmashSquatch. And then Tim ended up buying SmashSquatch.com. So that is secure for us.
Very cool. Well, and I love every time I see something, you know, on the socials from your pickle place, from Smash Pickleball, there's the big SmashSquatch there on the wall. I think that's great.
Well, then that was another thing that Tim kind of made a decision. It wasn't supposed to be that big. I mean, that mural is like 30 feet high, almost huge. 30 feet high. And it was supposed to be like max 15 feet. And he just said bigger is better. And the cool thing about that is that you can do group photos in that thing. It's so easy. I mean, we just get like 20 feet away and it's just out there. It was pretty genius of him. I got to hand it to him. It was expensive, but it was genius.
Yeah, pure genius. I think it's great. You know, whatever it costs is, you know, it's worth it. And so you've been a part of, from what I've seen also, of course, via the socials, in some cool events recently. And I mean, let's talk about that and some of the things that have been going on. Did you have the opportunity to play with Lendl? How's his game?
Lendl's game, and I've seen him play a year ago. And I've seen some of his results when he first started playing some tournaments. I got to tell you, the guy's his pickleball game is getting better, and his ball speed, he's not shy about speeding up,
Okay.
and he loves those hand battles, and Doc, he's pretty darn good. My instinct was like, I better not try to test the waves here a little bit. Just make the ball bounce to him is probably my best strategy there. So, but he was great, and we did a charity event for him in Delray Beach a couple of weeks ago. And he's just a great guy that's doing great things, and he's really loving pickleball. And I've seen other tennis players are starting to get more and more involved with the game as well. And I'm seeing on social media and different things too. So isn't it a great time to be a part of pickleball? I mean, it just
Absolutely.
keeps getting better and better.
It does. I don't think you could have said it any better. We're starting to see some of these former tennis players embracing pickleball a little, and I've always thought that the two can coexist, and that tennis can kind of help pickleball in that respect. If some of these players, let's say more distinguished, and not even those that are, I mean, of an Agassi Lendl fame to that degree. I
Yeah,
mean, McEnroe yucks it around there. He's pretty good too.
yeah.
It lends
Andy
even
Roddick,
more credit to pickleball, and it doesn't diminish tennis, I don't think, at all. If
not
you're
at
good
all.
at tennis, you're going to go play tennis.
Right.
But I think it's a great way too to encourage the youngsters to play pickleball as well. And I know you see that where you are and with what you're doing. Let's talk about some more of the activities that you've been involved around there. Props out to the charity if you want to mention who that was for and all about, and some of the other great things happening with your own Pickleverse, let alone the entire Pickleverse.
Yeah, it's the community, the pickleball community. I'm just realizing what an amazing area that I've moved to. I mean, South Florida, and you know, it used to be kind of Austin, and I'm just talking about pros a little bit, and a lot of these pros are moving to South Florida. They're coming from Southern Cal, and the Ben Johns from was in Austin, and now he's down here, and um, so that scene is pretty amazing. But the senior pro scene and the senior scene is just
Yeah.
incredible too.
Talk about that a little bit. I mean, I just had a chance, Mark, to pop into the NPL Combine out at Center Court Glendale. Shout out to Center Court Glendale. And
Nice.
actually had an opportunity to meet Rick. He was, he's been
Okay.
on the show, but I had never met him. And he was there. And so we had a chance to talk. I mean, lots of people there living their pickle dream, wanting to be a part of the NPL. You, of course,
Right.
big part of the NPL. Let's just talk about that and senior pickle in general. Hey, folks, there are people that can play some pickle, let me tell you.
Oh yeah, and it's getting more and more competitive every year, which is great. And yeah, so that was fantastic. You were there. The second combines in Houston this weekend, and big meeting last night with the NPL owners and GMs, you know, about looking up this upcoming season. You know, and it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to draft because there are so many good players out there and so many players that are traveling and from all different parts of the country so they can put their best foot forward and try to get drafted. And so,
That's a great point. When I was out there at Center Court, I was amazed at all the people from surrounding states and from surrounding areas, not just here locally. So it's a great point by you. What I understand though, and correct me if I'm wrong, if I participated in the Glendale Combine, I
right.
cannot go to Houston and try again, right?
You got me on that one. Yeah, I would think as an owner, I'm not quite sure on that. I thought I heard somebody was going to do two of them,
Okay.
but the thing is, the owners, it's going to be the same group of ownerships and GMs there.
Who are going to be evaluating and then ultimately doing the draft. Talk about that. Were there any,
Yeah.
did you have team keepers or is this a full draft and we have to fill out full rosters?
Yeah, they're each team can keep up to a couple players, and the league has already is really working on just bringing parity to the league. And so the top players in our league have been assigned to teams already.
Okay.
So that eliminates kind of your first 4 rounds, shall we say, 2 men, 2 women. So now we're into the part of drafting, pod 2 and pod 3 and then a sub. And so, but people don't have to go to the combine either. I mean, you could play, if your name's out there and you're pretty visible and you've been doing tournaments and having success, or all it takes is one. It's just like selling the house. It just takes one buyer and it just takes one owner to draft you.
And so that's good for people to know. If you're turning 50 in the NPL season, you're eligible. So if you're out there and you might be flying under the radar or potentially on the radar, you're eligible. Maybe you get a call from a team owner.
Yeah. So you still got to register.
Okay.
And you would go to the NPL Pickleball website, and shows you the schedule and kind of what to expect. It's 6 months. It's 1 week in a month. These venues just keep getting better and better. And the nice thing about the NPL, we only play in indoor.
Right.
And season 1, we only played in Chicken and Pickles.
Yes.
And that was fun being part of season 1 for sure. But the lighting in those things was tough because they, kind of the ambience that Chicken and Pickle wanted was, those garage doors, and you saw all those at the beginning.
Yeah.
The better pickleball players would say, we don't like those. You can't see the ball.
Hard to track the ball, right. And I heard that when I was at the championship, 2 years ago now at the Chicken and Pickle here in Glendale. Glendale. Shout out to Chicken and Pickle in general. Right. Put one in Chandler, Tempe, or Gilbert. Trust me, people would go. Anyways, there's just something for Chicken and Pickle.
Yes, and honestly, they really made it a pathway for the NPL to have such a success. And, that first season, I know a lot of players who were just sitting on the sideline, just kind of like, yeah, is this NPL for real? And it was, and it was tremendous. I mean, they not only got most of all the top players from the first year back for the year 2, but then they signed pretty much 90% of all the top players, or even more, to get it. So it is truly a Champions League, and it's just they keep finding ways to tweak it to make it better. And so these combines and this draft coming up is a great way for people to come out of the woodwork. And how I remember hearing about it is at the time, and I'll since you've had Rick on the show, I got to say something about Rick Widskin here.
Do it.
But we're at a APP in Mesa there, and in December of, what year was it? So we're
21?
23.
22.
So we're in 23 was the first NPL season, and he was just saying, and I was known with Rick more for my singles game, and because I kind of barged on the scene doing well in singles. And I was really hoping that the NPL could have a little like team breaker, right? Or the dream breaker.
Dream breaker. Yes.
Yes. But no, none of these 50-year-olds really want to do anything to do with singles. So, but I remember Rick saying, Mark, if there's something really big coming up, but you could get drafted. I know you're kind of a singles player, but it's going to be doubles. So, and that's all I needed from Rick. He gave me the locker room material that I went back and said he only sees me as a singles guy. Okay. And it was the best thing for me because I just really worked on my doubles game. And
that was the bulletin board material right there.
That's what you need. You got to pin that up in your locker room, in your weight room, and on the court.
I can see it. You got a picture of Rick up there, right? You got right. Champions never lose. That's right. Play doubles today. Yes.
Right. I can dink.
That's right. Dinking. It's okay to dink, right? Dinking's not a crime. Instead of tipping, it's not a crime you see in the Circle K or whatever.
Exactly.
That's great.
But it's funny how the game is changing too. Definitely.
Well, and there's some of that I think, wanting to have some tennis. Well, if not, it's happening where the power game and people are taking that shot out of the air more often, and these half volleys from way behind the kitchen line that you're seeing. And yeah, and I mean, there's still a lot of skill up at that kitchen line too, but you're seeing a little shift in some momentum at the players, up there at the highest levels, even on the seniors for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we usually follow what we've seen, what the pros are doing. It's about 2 years ago, you were kind of seeing the shallow dinks in the middle of the court, trying to take, a lot more. And we do see more dinking with the men's pro than you kind of do with the mix or the women's a little bit, because if you're going to speed up, it's going to come back.
Right.
And you got to make sure that you're choosing wisely. But there's still an advantage of dictating out on the court. And something I'm working on and something I'm coaching my students is that, your speed up's not your end all. Your speed up to a cleanup kind of thing, where you got kind of, speed up again, now you're getting control, and then you're trying to clean up. And too many times, if you go for broke on that first one, you're making an error,
Yeah,
so.
guilty.
Yeah, right.
Do it all the time. Talk about that as you're teaching, because you teach it, from all levels. How important, or how much do you, or how can you help, in the footwork? And do you focus on that a little bit, or where do you start to focus on that after maybe just, some basic skills, or waiting on speed ups, or perfecting some dinks maybe on one side to the other? Because I think personally, I know that's where I get all bamboozled and tangled up is in my feet, and I'm stepping over myself. Next thing I know, I'm stretching out like this. And
Yeah.
it's an important part of the game.
Yeah, really the thing that I remember, I've coached a lot with coach for Tyson McGuffin, and can tell you that story later. But his theme a lot in this camps is less is more. Less is more. And so if you're doing too much footwork and you're taking too big of steps, and it's actually doing less, and you're under control and you're stable, you're doing more. And so sometimes we take those extra couple steps or the crossover step, and those are actually hurting us. And so, yeah, getting your feet underneath you, and doing some more, trying to keep that ball in center to you, not reaching to the side as much. And so, yeah, I mean,
That's what I know. I mean, that balance, right? I mean, that's what I notice a lot of times when I'm watching players that are, levels up above me, is how it looks like they're just standing still and hitting the, da, 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 da. But I know they're moving around, but they're in balance, they're in control, and it just appears that way.
It was funny. Kyle Yates' mom was a referee in our MPL season 1, and another, I think, official that was working with her. He gets done, and he's done. He said, Mark, I've done all the MLPs, I've done the PPA, I've done the APP, and the best players in the world are the ones that are the most calm at the kitchen. And that sometimes it gets you get so fired up and you want to get after it, and all of a sudden you're finding yourself way early on the ball. And if you're early on your punches, that paddle face is open, and so yeah, you're popping things up when
It's no good.
if you just kind of just relax a little bit more. And that's something where I found my hand battles were working way better when I let that ball in a little closer, and instead of getting so jacked up and out there and trying to win that thing.
Right.
And just kind of relaxed. And so I think that's an important tip. And look who's probably the best illustration of is that, how smooth Ben Johns just looks like.
Sure.
He's moving a half step. It looks like he's moving slower than anyone else. He just sees that ball in slow motion compared to everybody else.
Yeah, or look at a guy like J.W. Johnson, J-Dub at the kitchen.
Yes.
He's one of those guys who
His
looks like he doesn't move. His paddle's down at his ankle, and next thing you know, he's putting it right past you with just a quick little I mean, he's right up. It's right up. It's right up.
Yeah, I know.
It's incredible.
It is incredible. And obviously having those instincts and knowing percentages of where that ball's going to, and where you hit it to, and where more likely it's going to come, those are big things. Instead of being so reactive, you're a little bit more proactive. So
Absolutely.
but
And
yeah, I mean, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I'm just thinking with JW, I'm going to play his mom, Julie
Oh,
Johnson,
fun.
here on Thursday. One of the
When is
things
that?
about living down here in in South Florida is that did I lose you here, or am I still good?
No, you're good.
Okay. It's very easy for me just to keep accepting games and I get offered all the time, and I got to be careful. I got to get this old body a rest day once in a while. And number two, you have to drill still. And
Yes.
if you're not spending time drilling and really working on, I don't care how much rec you do, those shots are you're not going to be on them. And so that's been the hardest thing for me is this transition down here is making sure I
Me.
set aside some time to drill.
That's the hardest thing for me, let alone right now getting out to just, play with the boys and have some fun out there on the court is I know I want to drill if I want to get that game up even just a little bit. And I gotta make the time to do it. Go back. When is that game you're playing with the
With
siblings
Julie?
Johnson mom, Julie?
Yeah, it is going to be Thursday.
Nice.
Thursday, yes. And I'm just trying to think of all. I mean, it's so funny. Everyone starts planning their week in the next week, and they get their matches lined up, um, and it's just phenomenal scene down here. And you're in a good, vibrant pickleball community too, and it's just
Don't try to flex Florida over Picklezona. It's just not going to happen.
Pickle Zona, I love it. Yes. No, I won't touch there. I mean, so because we're having a hard enough time building enough courts down here anyway. So
We're trying to keep up. We're just trying to keep up.
it's great. It's
So
great.
what's the next on the agenda? Let's talk a little more NPL, specifically Punishers. How are we going to
Okay.
look this year? What's the outlook for the team? Can you call your shot? Are we running right to the title? Are we punishing all the way to the title?
We are going to. It's we're all kind of jockeying up. The league is just so unified in that we want we want great parity in the league. So let's rank our players. Let's do the best we can to really get the best players in the league and get the talent spread apart all around because we want it in the MPL you only win by one, so 11-10, and I can't tell you how many matches that are decided by 11-10 in game 3 in the MPL. And so yeah, so the thing that I have to do is as GM and looking at players is that you got to really look on the culture side of things and just really look at, okay, is this person's talented, but is it going to fit in with the culture of our team? And we already have 4 players, so we already kind of and we do have the number 1 women's player in the world, Beth Bellamy,
Doesn't
even
hurt.
coming off an injury and a year off, she's still all that in a bag of chips. And she's a wonderful human being as well. So, and a co-founder of the MPL.
Yes. Next time you see her, nudge her about Pickle with Mickle and how much fun you had. Maybe she'll come on.
Okay, I will do that for you, buddy. And maybe you can wear your Smash shirt when you interview.
I totally will as soon as it comes.
Okay, buddy.
Larger work. I might have an extra pickle gating shirt around here I can send to you. I mean, you're a big guy. It might fit you.
Yes.
Because I think all I have is extra larges left.
Yeah, but anyway, so back to, kind of as you're trying to form your team, that chemistry is the most important thing. I mean, you see it in all levels, even in the MLP, players that you would think would do really well together, but they got to have the chemistry and they got to have games that complement each other. You can't have a team that's all left-handed and you can't have a team that's all right-handed. You need some and you need some diversity, you need some finishers, and you need some people that are just going to just keep that ball in play and just the role players. And
I talked about that, back MLP, and I think same thing as you're mentioning, that team culture, the chemistry that you want to have between the players on the court, and even left-handed, right-handed, but a left-sided dominant or a right-sided dominant. Outside of maybe your elite players, okay, you can probably play both sides. Let's find that team aspect. Let's find those players that are going to play with each other really well, because they might overcome, like you mentioned, in that team environment, pushing each other to be better. It can count for something and make a difference, because you've seen some of the teams that rise up in MLP with pairings, to your point, that you're like, what? Where'd that come from?
Right. Yeah, the players that sub in too, and they just
Yes.
instantly click, So it's and an unfortunate truth in the MPL is that there's some injuries that happen. We're just so we have to, that's the thing. Last year, OKC team, we got hit by the injury bug really bad. I mean, we lost players that we drafted that were injured. We lost another teammate too to an ACL, and it's just these are tough things to overcome,
I mean,
injuries, just like
makes it more
any.
important as you round out that full roster, especially through the draft, because they can happen, right? I mean, outside of big injuries like ACLs, just tweaking an ankle, anything in the shoulder, elbow type thing that might set somebody down or put them under 100%. And that just comes from the game. It has nothing to do, people, that these are distinguished pros out there on the court. We take care of our bodies,
Right.
trust me.
Yes, and warm up and stretch and the whole bit. David Wells with Yobo was a player in the league, and he owns Yobo, and he outfitted the team with some great things to kind of help us warm up and different things. So
You have to. You
it
can't stress that enough at any level, to make sure you stretch a little before you head out to the court. Always make sure you're hydrating the right way, and you're going to have
yep
more fun. You're going to play a lot longer, and you're going to
yep
prevent at least, some of those injuries that you can prevent.
spot on. And it's and then when you do get nicked up a little bit and you got to take time off, you tell yourself, when I get healthy again, I'm going to appreciate it more, and I'm gonna take care of my body again. And to me, last season I battled for the first time. I played tennis my whole life before getting into pickleball, and I had that golfer's elbow that just, my partners would look at me and say, "Hey, why didn't you put that ball away?" And I'm like, "Because it
Do it.
hurts when I hit the ball." so, um, so I'm feeling healthy this year. Kind of found, a paddle that really helps me, and
What are you playing with?
I'm playing with the new Yola. I went
Ooh,
from the mod. Yes, I was that guy, and I went to the Perseus 4. I don't notice a drop off from it. I'm stoked on this paddle.
nice.
And the best thing about it is, honestly, I don't wear all the elbow braces and this, all the sleeves and stuff that I had to do a year ago. And so that's been the biggest game changer for me. Is just my elbows just has never felt better. So
Awesome.
I like that. Yeah. So, but yes, I gotta give a plug to Yola there. They've been good to me and to Smash Pickleball. So.
Very good. Shout out to Yola. Awesome.
Yep.
All right. We're going to shift gears here before we really shift gears. So, in case people missed it, you attended Washington State in the Palouse, Pac 12
Yeah.
school, Pac 12 rebuilding itself. It's March Madness time. Washington State's not in the deal.
No.
I
No.
bet you that elbow could get sore if you fill out too many brackets. Have you filled
Right.
out a bracket yet?
Yes, I have.
All right.
And
Good.
you got to understand where I moved to.
Yeah, I trust me. I'm leading you right down a path. So, did you take the Gators all the way?
You have to.
You
The Gators
better.
are just fine, right?
You're gonna come into. You're gonna come into. You're gonna walk into Smash Pickleball. There's gonna be a big Gator over it, for crying out loud. There'll be a
for,
Gator
for
chomping
certain.
on the SmashSquatch. A 50-foot Gator on that wall, for
Wouldn't that
shit's
be an
sake.
interesting little AI kind of demonstration there?
So yeah, I mean, I've got some, little Tar Heel color here. I even said on my
Okay.
show, I don't know how we got in, but since we got a
I was
ticket,
going to say.
since we got a
So how
ticket.
far do you have them going? They got to play an extra game. So that first weekend, if they can get to the Sweet 16, they got to play what three games in a week.
So I said for both North Carolina and Texas, the other team a lot of people are poo-pooing on, that they can win 2 games. They could win tonight, Texas plays tomorrow, and they might win that first round game. And I think the same thing for San Diego State or Xavier. And Heels play San Diego State tonight. It's gonna be that's a big game.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have Florida going pretty far. Here's what I got for you though. Final game, St. John's, Patino, playing against Houston, Kelvin Sampson, old school coaches, old school teams. I love St. John's being back in the tournament. I think it's great, and we'll see how it goes starting Thursday.
Yes, well, you got to remember Kelvin Sampson. If you do a little history, guess where he coached? Good old Washington State.
Before
He
Oklahoma.
was there when I was there. He was the coach when I was going to school there.
Okay.
I mean, look at that career right there.
Started off, I mean, how can you go wrong? I mean, let me ask you this. While you were there, you're in the gym, maybe playing a little rec ball with Bledsoe. Would he come in and maybe put you guys through some sprints or something?
Right. Oh, it was kind of fun. Okay, so yes, I was just Sigma Nu, and that's where my business partner Tim. We were both Sigma Nus, and he was a good basketball player too. And we actually would do the intramural basketball, and we were in the championship game, and we're playing against football players. And these, these football players, you always know they're football players because they wear their sweats that say football to their classes, to everywhere. And so they're all out there.
I think they're required to.
Right. But, if I put in pickleball terms, we just dinked them. We just were dinked. We were patient. We would move the ball around, and they just wanted us to run and gun and show their athleticism. We just slowed the ball down like Bennett did, another Wazoo coach, and then for Virginia.
Yeah.
Classic defense wins championships. So, yes, isn't this a great time of year?
One of the best, most wonderful time of the year. I mean, I can't wait. I mean, it's always great. It always delivers. Can't put my fingers on all those key first round upsets. I mean, I did take a 12/5, of course, UCSD. I think they're going to win. I think I have Akron beating Arizona. Woo, going to get me in trouble around here. Bear down on that, Tucson and Arizona fans.
Right. Yes, you might be joining me in South Florida here soon.
Yeah, save me a spot and put a cot underneath that SmashSquatch, and I'll just sweep the courts every day, and it'll be fine. It'll be fine. And then we got GCU is a 13 seed. They made a run last year, but I do like that Florida team. I think they can go far.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on them. I was, a couple of weeks ago, they weren't a 1 seed, so they just earned their way to it.
And similar to an NPL team making a run towards that title, you got to gel at the right time too and have that final run in you. I mean, 6 games is a stretch. You go cold a little bit. Next thing you know, Cinderella putting that shoe on, moving right by you. But a slipper, I should say.
That's for sure. That's for sure. And that's one is taking care of your health. And, I just think that you're going to be the players that are drafted, they're all from around the country. So a lot of these players have never played together. And then you get together for a weekend and then everyone goes back home and they travel again. So it's not like we're practicing a lot together. So getting those kind of things. And it's just that's the one thing that if players can get into the NPL, it is pretty much known fact that your game is going to get so much better. Now, yes, when you play at the highest level, you're bound and determined to get better. But here's the difference of just instead of just entering an APP or PPA tournament.
Yeah, sure.
When you play NPL, you have your Pod 1's players that are invested in your match because the team match is coming down to yours. and they're coaching you on timeouts, and they're coming in. Now, Paul Olin, great guy, and he's taking the year off. And last year, amazing team captain for OKC, and I absolutely loved the timeouts I could get into his mind. Now, Paul Olin's a retired Navy guy, and he was actually a Top Gun commanding officer, a Top Gun. Yes, and so and he knows how to coach, and he knows how to be organized in the whole bit.
Strategic, I'm sure.
Oh, big time. And that's what we got being a part of a team. You just get that high level coaching, and that's a big part of me drafting. You're trying to say, hey, are you open to changing your game? Are you open to hearing stuff, and or do you know it all?
Right.
So that's an important value there too, is because we have to change our ways of the game, and people come into the league and they know sooner than later is like, okay, yeah, there's a team you're facing that you're going to have to be a little bit more patient with, or you're going to have to wait for that ball a little bit more. But anyway, that is definitely a cool thing about getting that high-end coach.
So great. And the NPL is going to continue to expand. I heard murmurs while I was out there at the combine from Rick. We've got, people wanting to create more teams, and we know we've got players ready to fill them. So folks, NPL.com, I believe it. And NPL.com, NationalPickleballLeague.com. Check that out. You can go there, find out more information. If you are swimming around there over a 4.0 and around 50, why don't you register? Maybe you could turn some heads at your next tournament. And what we're going to do with Mark Milner right now, Pickle with Mickle interview style, we're going to hit the speed 'em ups. He's been through this once before. And so we're
kind of ready.
We're going to find out if he's ready. I switched it up on you. So can't bring the same stuff. I mean, come on, man. You ready to roll?
Oh, I don't know, man. Now you got me nervous. Okay, go ahead.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to start you off always with a softball. All right, this one you can knock out of the park. Top 3 favorite tennis players all time. Go.
Agassi, Sampras, and Bjorn Borg.
Solid 3 right there. We know Agassi can pickle. Is Sampras pickling at all?
I haven't heard of that. I haven't heard much from him, actually, about him. He's enjoying his retirement for sure.
Absolutely. Okay. First concert you attended?
I'm from Eastern Washington State, so you got me on that one. Gosh, I was at Washington State.
You can't remember the first rock show or any concert you went to?
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you got me on that one. All I can think about is some contemporary Christian artists that I would see at Washington State, but Fleetwood Mac. Did go see Fleetwood Mac at the Gorge. So
just when I thought you were just going to tank the whole thing, you totally redeem yourself and pulled Fleetwood Mac out.
Yes. That was fun. That was a gorgeous night on the Gorge there and along the Columbia River there. That's a great venue for a concert.
Super good pull there. Who is your favorite band?
Well, I like the 80s, and I like, it seems to me that...
Which part of the 80s? The hair 80s? The more punk 80s?
Yes, I mean, Def Leppard to AC/DC to... I mean, those guys, that music just never... I mean, when I have 4 kids and they're listening to that stuff, it just doesn't
sneak a little Quiet Riot in on them. Maybe some Rat.
That's Rat. Yes, for sure.
All right. Yeah. Oh man, so much fun. Current celebrity crush.
Current celebrity.
All right. Since you prepped, high school celebrity crush.
Okay. This one was Demi Moore, and I'm even going back before high school.
Okay.
This is like middle school.
Do it.
Suzanne Summers.
Oh, wow. Yeah. 2 strong pulls. Demi Moore is still gorgeous. And
unbelievable.
I go all the way back to, speaking of 80s, remember the movie One Crazy Summer? That might have been like her first movie. If you haven't seen it, you got to go check it out. John Cusack's in it. Bobcat Goldthwait's in it. Great movie.
Okay. Yes, I will. Yes, yeah, that. But it's just her voice, and she's such a good. I mean, just so many good movies.
Yeah, no, it's very strong pull. I mean, G.I. Jane, for crying out loud, great performance.
Yeah, no kidding.
Go-to junk food.
Salty almonds.
All right. Any chocolate on them,
Yeah.
or just pure salt almonds?
Well, I am now. It's funny. I'm trying to. Yes, it's not junk if I consider it dark chocolate almonds, right?
That's right, because the dark chocolate is the healthy one. That's right.
It makes it.
That's the good one. That's right. Surf or ski? What do you prefer?
Well, I'm a downhill skier in Washington State, and I love backcountry skiing. My brothers got me into that, but I can't do that down here, so I better learn to surf.
Got to try it out. Where's the best place that you've gone backcountry skiing?
So I lived in Omak. I would have a snowmobile in my truck. It would be an hour drive.
Right there in Washington. Okay.
Right there in Washington. Yep, an hour drive, and I'm in. They closed down North Cascades Highway because they can't keep up with the snow plowing.
Oh, wow.
But the snowmobiles can go, and then you put the skins on, and you just start climbing, and you get the best skiing ever.
Wow.
Yeah, I miss that. I miss the mountains. I miss a little bit of the snow, but
Well, the good thing is you can go to it if you need to.
I can, and every day it's summer down here. It's just summer.
That's right. You don't have to shovel the sun, Mark. You're going to appreciate that. You know, you got to get used to the afternoon rain, because I did see that it did rain a few times since the last time we talked in Florida.
Yes, but not much. I mean, this time of year, there isn't a lot of rain, because if I did see rain, generally you see people coming more indoors. So that's coming.
It will.
Those afternoon showers.
That's right. Animal encounters. Any strange animal encounters you've ever had?
No, but I will tell you, I thought I did. Okay. So I'm backpacking, mountains and hiking and family. I have three brothers and my dad. So there's four boys and my dad. And we were leaving a campsite, and my younger brother was bugging me. So we're fighting. We're I don't know. I'm 12, 11. He's 10. And my dad just says, "Hey, Mark, why don't you just take off and we'll catch up with you?" And we have like a 3-4 mile hike out. And I took the wrong turn leaving the camp. And so I'm going the wrong way. And the rest of my family left the camp, and they're trying to catch up with me, and they can't catch up with me because I went the wrong way.
Because you're going the wrong way.
So what stopped me was I thought I saw a bear. Maybe I saw a bear or something, so I kind of stopped and going, okay, I'm waiting for the rest of my family here because I think there's a bear there. So maybe an encounter in my mind that there was a bear. But then I realized I went the wrong way. And now I'm trying to hightail and catch up with them who were trying to catch up with me. And when I got to the trailhead, I mean, this is hours without my family.
I was about to say, how long was the wait?
Yeah, and they were just ready to call a search and rescue for me.
Wow.
So,
you come out of there, you come out with a pack of wolves, right? I mean,
so that was not really an encounter. I thought it was going to be an encounter, but no.
I think it works. A great story. All right, last one I got for you. I like to play this game. Who's coming to Pickle? You're on the court. 3 people can come. Could be anybody from entertainment, just anybody who's coming to Pickle.
Well, I'm just kind of this thought of maybe Agassi and Steffi Graf. I know some of my MPL friends have got to play with them.
Yeah, Mr. Simon, hook that up for Mark, please, and for my show. Hint,
yes,
hint.
Alex was the Punisher his first year in season 1.
Yeah, next time you see him, elbow him for that too. I gotta elbow him myself.
Okay, so I think those two would be fun, and why don't I just get Sock in there too?
Okay.
I want Sock as my partner though.
Right on. There's a good 3.
Yeah.
I would like to see you and Sock face off against Stephanie Groff and Mr. Agassi there. I think that could be fun.
Yeah, no, I know Sock would kind of have his way with all of us, but I just those guys who played in the high end, and for them to play in pickleball and how much they're enjoying it now, and
She's gotten really
especially.
good.
Oh my goodness, yes, she has, and I've actually watched. Did you probably watch the first Pickle Slam, right? And Andre can dink now, and he's getting his soft game's getting way better too. So we all
Blame that
know
on
that
Alex.
right? Yes. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It
That would
is.
be pretty cool to get in.
Fantastic. So much fun had here with Mark Milner, NPL GM, Smash Pickleball owner, Smash Squat tamer. I really appreciate you making time for me today. Anything you want to plug out here on the court other than the Gators winning the national title?
I think we hit it all, but I just appreciate your show. What you're doing for pickleball is great. I just wish you to continue success with the show, and I'm super honored not to only get to do this once but twice with you, buddy.
That's
So
right. Third time will be the real charm. On second thought, maybe we just keep them guessing. Thank you, Mark, for joining me. Follow Mark out on the socials. You can follow me at the MicklePod. Check out picklewithmickle.com. Stay safe out there. Stay hydrated. I'll see y'all next time for more